Let's just open it up. I'm really
Shut
thirsty.
the
I'm really-
curtains.
I'm really thirsty.
But how long have you been working here?
Almost 2.5 years. So
Fucking hell.
yeah, after Partisan, just a couple of months of freelancing, and then Ivo's brother left the company, and he asked me if I could join, not as an owner, but just to work here. And I said, yeah, sure. He started it in 2002 together with his dad.
Did they come from a wine?
Yeah, so his father was importing a lot of European wine since the late 60s.
Yes, always. Since the 60s.
Yeah, since the late 60s.
Oh, wow.
And he had his own importing company, and he sold it to Cordier Nederland. And then he was, I think, a director of there. He retired. And then he went on a wine tour with his wife. Visited a lot of organic and biodynamic winemakers. And Ivo just graduated from the Finoloogopleiding.
Yeah.
And then in 2002, when Ivo was 24, his dad and Ivo created Pieksman Wijnimport.
Today we're at the Pieksman Wijnimport with Wouter. I think we're going to do from now on always episodes with a guest, right? Because the last time we talked about
Only if they're as fun and entertaining.
and if
as
they're
Wouter van
energetic.
Sas.
You brought today Klaus Preisinger, Erde, Luft, Gras und Reben.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again, please?
No.
2015. He's coming from, right? Austria, Burgenland, goals.
8 ballen. So. I got a cookie. Yeah, sorry.
This is episode number 2.
Yeah, it's Bazanji. 919. Check it, I said this.
Everything organic and biodynamic.
Cool.
Already from the beginning. Also some natural wine. So that's also for the portfolio that there are, some like legends within natural wine, because in the beginning 2002, not a lot of people were doing organic or biodynamic, and especially non-natural wine. A lot of big names, they contacted each other and said, hey, if you want to export some wine, call Pieksman.
They're pretty good in the Austrian game, no?
Yeah, and what I always liked about Pieksman is that they're not going with this classic portfolio of Austria. Is that they always have something new. I think you were the first ones with Cheetah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And
Cheetah.
whenever
I always think of the cat when people say that.
Cheetah,
Cheetah.
like the best
Like the leopard thingy. What is the puma?
we
Sophisticated.
It's actually funny because the last time we never had the rule that we drink Austrian wines. That was never the thing. The only Austrian what we did with this whole Bar Arnold idea was actually that we called it Bar Arnold.
Yeah.
And me.
I almost brought Austrian, but I didn't want to.
Nah, and last time we had Strohmeier and Ploder Rosenberg, and this time you brought Klaus Preisinger. I actually didn't want to bring anything from Austria, not that people think we only drink Austrian wine.
But
so.
you paid me to cheers, bitches.
Cheers. Okay, so what the fuck? I don't know this cuvée.
Yeah. But
Goeienacht.
one thing. Pieksman started in the 60s.
No. His dad started.
So Auke Pieksman, Ivo's father, he started in the late 60s with importing wine.
He's got curly hair as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And in I think it was 71, he and a buddy of his started a importing company called PNN Wijnimport.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was doing the the website last year, redoing it, and I went through all the old books and all the old pricing lists, there was still Domaine de Vilaine, which we still have in the portfolio from Aubert de Vilaine.
Romani Conti?
Yeah, that was already being imported since 72.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff. So, yeah.
Cool, nice, okay. And when did Ivo took over?
In 2002, they created Pieksman Wijnimport.
Yeah.
And his dad retired, I don't know exactly how many years ago, and his brother joined the company in 2010 when they opened a shop for consumer.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning it was only import and selling to restaurants and hotels throughout the Netherlands.
Cool.
And now it's, the main focus is selling to, everything is on import and selling to restaurants, hotels throughout the Netherlands and a small part of Vlaanderen, the north of Belgium.
Really?
Vet.
Yeah, and
Vet.
consumer, and now Corona-wise also a web shop for consumer. So
Yeah, it's pretty surprising that you didn't have a fucking web shop.
it's not finished, but
Bam!
yeah.
Well,
Straight up.
well,
Yeah.
it's a serious company.
Straight up
I think it's
question.
really professional in Wijnimport.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like with the horeca, you see a lot of people now making like an inhaalslag for going online with their products, with their wines. Every fucking wine bar is selling natural wine now on a shop.
Mm.
But it's funny to see that there's some things just don't happen when you're doing well with what you do. You have a good shop, you have a good resellers channel, but no web shop, which is surprising.
But the web shop,
It's
it
a
is
lot of
really
work.
it's a shitload of work, but in the long run it will be a add-on to the company, because wholesale, that's basically what we do, and also selling to some other some other wine shops and web shops. So that's also why we never took on a web shop, because then you're competing more or less with yourself, because our consumer price is maybe a little bit on the low side for online, because otherwise the resellers, they call up and say, what the fuck are you doing?
What was
Jesus,
the?
I needed this glass of
Do you know? Yeah, I had the first one. It was like
There's a spitting platoon if you don't like it.
so juicy.
Yeah.
It is. Do you know the first portfolio what Peaksman had, or PNN, with what they started? It was like Bordeaux, Burgundy, or was
Mainly
it
Bordeaux and Burgundy,
so
some
the classic
Provence
thing?
wines.
Nice.
Okay, the wine man.
Okay,
I need it
cool.
Here,
So-
and I want to talk about it.
Cool. So
Yes.
today we're sitting in at Peaksman. Where are we? Oost? South? I never know. Is it even Amsterdam?
Gast.
Is it
No,
Amsterdam?
it's Tirol.
Innsbruck.
What the fuck? How long have you been living in Amsterdam?
3 years.
East, so Amsterdam, Watergraafsmeer.
No, it's not here. Boom. No, it's in front of your face. Here, I want to have the wine here where everyone sees what we're drinking. Cool.
But now you just see a white label with Klaus's signature.
Whatever. The last time we had the bottles flying around and no one actually knew what was going on.
Jesus, it's just like we're back in parties. Oh,
Bam!
Is it 4 in the morning already?
Jesus. Exactly. The light is already on.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Boom.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're not gonna say it's 10 o'clock in the
No.
morning.
Is that the cleaning crew? Shit.
We're going to do that one episode once. Let's do the first wine first. So now we have introduction why we're actually here.
Yeah.
We didn't explain it. I also don't know why we're here. We do the first wine. Yeah, the Luftgasenreben. There was a really cool story behind it.
Why?
Pretty cool. Do you want to explain the first wine? Why you picked it? Why does Peaksman has it? What is Klaus Preisinger for you? Just go for it. Okay, tell us. Klaus Preisinger.
Klaus Preisinger.
Why did you choose it?
Yeah, good stuff.
That's an explanation.
2015, and I just enjoy it. It looks as it's an orange wine. It maybe has a couple of days skin contact, but at least no more than 4. So what we say at Peaksman is starting at 4 days, it will be orange wine with skin contact.
Mm-hmm.
So just aged in amphora for 4 months. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Klaus. Super cool biodynamic natural wines, always really clean, except for the wine Dope, which was not so clean, but for the rest, usually all his wines here are really clean and crisp and nice acidity.
Good structure also always in the wines, huh? Yeah, a stupid question. I have a fucking hard time explaining what I think is Grüner Veltliner. It's a grape. I kind of know how it tastes. I kind of really know what it is. I've sold and drunk a shitload. But how would you describe that?
Grüner is one of the...
Is it versatile or is it very typical?
Grüner is one of the... I don't know what it is in English. Autochthon.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it only grows in that region. This was also the same what we had last time with Strohmeier, Blauer Wildbacher, only grows in a particular region. I think it's Weststeiermark, where Strohmeier is from. And Grüner is the autochthon grape from Austria, and it's really simple to explain. It's always really crispy. It's always a lot of pepper in it,
Yeah.
and it's always really fresh and a lot of minerality in it. to really sum it up.
Well, in Dutch you would say maybe also a bit kruidig in some
Yeah,
way.
could be.
Kruidig,
Groene Berliner
fruity,
is-
funky. That's what I always, when somebody asks me, I'm like, when I say it, it just sounds horrible. Yeah, it's really fruity and kruidig and peppery and...
What Groene Berliner is it's a
Super
really
good.
simple grape. It's a similar like Riesling. Riesling is really particular. Chardonnay, not so much. It really goes from super light, super fresh to super heavy, oaky, blah, whatever. And Groene Berliner has a lot of how do you say, a lot of different styles. But what you always search in Groene Berliner is pepper. In the smell and in the taste.
Yeah,
this is
good to know.
what Austria promotes all the time. Pfeffer, the pepper. Yeah, sorry. Austrian.
Yeah.
Pfeffer!
But also for me within Grünefeldliners,
You also have this in this wine, by the way. You have a lot of pepper in it.
Yeah.
And then
White pepper.
we started with Groene Berliner in a really big wine area.
Yeah, you're absolutely not biased, of course.
What I
are you sure the channel
really
is not
not.
promoted by the Austrian exporting company?
I put a banner under it.
okay.
We get money from you. I get money from you too. And what I like about Groene Berliner, if it's simple made, of course there can be a lot of time, energy, and work in it. Like in this particular example with Klaus. But what I don't like is if someone tries to make a Groene Berliner oaky and fat and 14.5% alcohol. This is not what Groene Berliner is. Groene Berliner is straight up. It's really simple. It's really precise, from my part. Sorry, you wanted to say something.
So
oily,
with this
yeah.
wine, it's not as usually Grünefeldliner. So there's of course a shitload of different styles of Grüne, but so we also have Weingut Geierhof from Kremstal, and there it's really easy to how I explain the differences between the wines is to because the wines they have more green apple, yellow apple, red apple. Some Grüners they can also have some sort of pear, and that is really at least for the Dutch people they can really relate on a Granny Smith apple compared to a red apple which is more ripe, still dry, but it has some sort of more ripe fruit.
But if you explain it, it's kind of... It could be anything. In a way.
True.
No, but it's not... It's a very good explanation.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's a kind of a hard grape to describe.
Yeah,
Groene Berliner.
Well, it's not as easy.
Grünefeldliner usually like
It's
a
also pretty
classic,
versatile grape, no?
like a standard Grünefeldliner that entry level for hospitality is usually fresh cut grass with white pepper and green apple. Really simple, really flat. It's gone after 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you can,
Go to this.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you love to drink? I know what I like to drink. I love natural wine, but I also drink
Tequila.
everything which is good, or a shitload of beer. What do you like to drink?
Basically everything within wine. For me, it doesn't have to be natural, conventional. I do
Boom.
have a preference of organic, especially biodynamic wines. It doesn't have to be natural, but I think biodynamic winemaking is the most purest way of making a honest wine. And especially when you're good at it, you can make a really pure wine. I cannot taste the difference between conventional, organic, or biodynamic, but you will, in my opinion, biodynamic wines they are more pure and there's a more depth already in the wine, and you don't have to technically manipulate it in the cellar.
Yeah.
So biodynamic, as it comes down to wine, I do drink conventional beer, basically only a fluitje, just a fluitje pils.
Or 1040.
Yeah, I'm not into strong liquor.
Kanon.
Shots.
Kanon. This is the half liter with the 8.4 thingy on it, like the brown can of fucking heavy lager that they drink.
Where you finish one and then you're like, yo, I'm in trouble.
Not from the fridge, like in the morning, with a hand-rolled ciggy. Yeah.
Do you actually know the story about Erde, Luft, Gas und Reden?
Go for it.
Do you know why it is such a long sentence? And why there are letters in block, in bold, and why not? Do you know that story?
Probably that's another word or something.
No.
Edelgra.
When you're filling wine in Austria, and it's really interesting.
Sorry, Pascal, go for it.
I try to be professional here.
Yes, we are. Come on.
The story, it's a really cool story. Klaus Preisinger filled the Chronometlina, did the skin macerating amphora shit, and then he sent it. Then you have to send it to the, I don't know what it's called, like the wine classification, where they make a classification if it's Wijn de Tafel, blah blah blah, or if it's a quality wine of Austria. And quality wine of Austria, Qualitätswein, has a lot of criteria. And if you have that, you have the banderole, and then it's red, white, red.
What? Sorry.
If you have quality wine, which is the highest classification in Austria, you have red, white, red.
Yeah.
And Klaus sent it in, and he said, hey, this is my Chronometlina from the single vineyard Edelgraben, which is really cool. I make super nice wine there. He did a white and a red there. I think he does Chronometlina in Blaufränkisch. And he does Chronometlina there. And Austria was like, I'm really sorry, but this is not what Austria is standing for, this skin macerating shit. This is not quality wine. Klaus doesn't have a problem with it, but the big problem what he has is if you don't have quality wine of Austria, you also cannot name a single vineyard. You can only name it wine from Austria. So that's why wine from Austria. But actually this wine is from Burgenland, from Gols, from the single vineyard Edelgraben. And then he said like, and then he said, so can I actually put just a creative name on it? And they were like, yeah, of course. So then he named it Erde, Luft, Gras und Reben. And if you have the bold things, it's called Edelgraben. Alright, first one done.
Yes,
So I brought something. I was doing some work today. Doing a pop-up shop. It's Jean Maupertuis, NEROU, Pinot Noir, Auvergne, 2018.
Bam.
Jean Maupertuis. You even know about the guy? That's so. I think I didn't know about the guy either, but he's a really old school natural winemaker. Not that old school, but I think since 2000 or something. He was in IT before.
Nice color.
Let's put it here.
It's perfect.
So he makes usually, I think, until maybe a couple of years ago, he only made Gamay. And he does some Chardonnay as well, I think. Auvergne, if you ask, I was working in a restaurant in France this summer, and I told the guy who owned it, French, not much older than us. I told him, yeah, man, I really like wine from the Auvergne. He's like, wine from the Auvergne, man, it's like the shittiest crap possibly to drink. But of course, as we know, there's quite some, natural wine guys there that are pretty famous. Well, Jean Maupertuis, for some reason, I didn't know it so well until I found it in a box. I took a bottle home because I'm trying to taste as much as I can from the wines Henk is selling. And super surprised by this. Tell me what you think.
And what is the region?
Auvergne. So it's
Auvergne.
above Clermont-Ferrand. It's volcanic.
Yeah.
I think it's about like 700 meters high.
Is that
It's a flat ground.
No, that's Ardèche.
That's Ardèche. So that's to the east of the Auvergne.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, Clermont-Ferrand, where Michelin was, fucking horrible city. At least it's super grey. I didn't really like it. Then after Clermont-Ferrand, if you come from the south, at least the Auvergne starts a bit. It's very well known for ham and cheeses and stuff like this. I think really for me, super honest wine. It's obviously super natural. There's no added sulfites whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's unfiltered. It's kind of, it's pretty edgy, but it's also really straight. And well, I actually really brought it because I'm fucking him over. I didn't want to drink heavy wine, so I brought some juice. But what I like about this is juicy, but it's not that carbo kind of stuff that you see so much. It's got really good integrity, I think, in the flavor profile. The Pinot Noir kind of speaks, but it's really enjoyable glass of wine, and it's not expensive. It's pretty fucking good, no?
It's also,
But it's juicy, but it's not like it's not only juice.
But there's a lot of stuff going on. So some smokiness, a hint of bread, but that's okay.
Little
It's-
red fruit,
Yeah.
mint, even a little bit,
a lot of
Good stuff.
pepper.
pepper. Yeah.
But the structure, and I took a tasting bottle to Tom from 4850, And he said, yeah, we used to sell that shit at Glue. We called it Muispertwee.
It's not mousy.
No, but apparently it was legendary when they sold it as the most mousy wine ever. Like, you opened the bottle and it was like a full-on fucking mouse fest going on. But honestly, this gets some mouse the day after. But yeah, I didn't really, honestly, you know, I will never say that I know everything or a lot even about wine. I was surprised to find a producer that's apparently been doing this for a long time, really the right way. The pricing is super nice.
How much do you pay for this?
I have to check, but it's around 12 euros maybe or something.
Right. I had this last week when I went to you.
That's good stuff.
When I bought it from you at Walter Woodbury.
This as well.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. No. I chose it.
Yeah,
you were like, "Hey, drink this, drink," and then there was one bottle standing in the front.
Still don't know.
And I took it, and I was like, "Hey, this is really, what is this?" And they were like, "Oh, it's really nice, so good." And then I really loved it.
Yeah, I was thinking about, you know, I was first thinking taking Morgon from Lapierre because making for a good story in maybe episode 2 about a little bit how all that shit started, but I'm too hungover, so we'll keep that for the next time. And then there was some juice from Nicolas Renaud, really juicy stuff, but it's kind of comfort wine or something. I kind of felt like it. It's easy, the bottle is gone before you know it.
I can definitely imagine this will get mousy the next day or
I
maybe
think
after
in 5 hours.
Figo just texted me 10 days ago. He got a bottle as well, and he still had it a little bit. He said the mouse is almost gone. 2 weeks or something.
No, but you will finish this within an hour and a half.
Yeah, but that integrity, you can tell how unfucked this wine is with. The way it goes into your body and into your mouth, you know, this is properly built up wine.
It gets down.
Get down.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah.
I love it. I like it. And do you know, this is one of the only natural wines which I'm drinking, and I was like, I really want to have a steak with it. Oh, I want to eat something with it.
Yeah, but it's got that slight tannin just on the top of your mouth with that pepper, and because it's juicy. But this is what I mean. There's so much juicy wine, but it's got no length and no real spirit or a real structure in it. But it's got everything a good red wine for this class of wine we're drinking.
Especially for that kind of money.
Man, 100% naturally made wine from a cool region, from a noble grape.
Yeah.
For that, without any fucking around.
Who imports it? Wijnvriend?
And Bas from Finatura. Also shout out to him, a really good guy. Oh, but Henk has been doing this since 2005. And something I never ordered from...
This winery.
Yeah.
Cool.
I never ordered it. We never sold it. But I am super hooked on it.
It's not really picking up.
Oh, no, we don't have so much. There isn't so much. It's coming in now, 2019. I think it's coming in next week.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting, especially for the Muispertwee. So this settled really well. I hope it's drinkable. But I think, I don't know.
I like it.
It's a fucking good hangover wine. Honestly, that's most.
That's true.
I had a really in-depth analysis here of the wine I brought today. Happy to give you all this insight and information into my life and my knowledge.
I saw it last time already.
I never was like that fucking bullshit.
It's good. It's shit. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
We talked about the last time we talked about natural wine and conventional wine, and we really had a good conversation about that. You said natural wine. Do you want to have this shitty bread from the Albert Heijn, or do you want to have a nice sourdough bread, which is done in an hour and whatever? And you really got me hooked on this, because after we finished the podcast, I think a week later, a couple of days later, I had friends over, and then I was like, I have to go now to your place and just buy some things, because I didn't do that in almost 2 years, to really drink natural wine for a whole night.
Yeah.
And I went to your shop, and then I bought just 4 bottles, like earlier, like before, like this and this and this and this and this, and I paid like, what did I pay? 60 euros, like nothing, like peanuts. And then I went home and I just popped every bottle and I drank it, and we had food and we had nice conversations, and there was even one guy sitting there who's working at Moet, like a colleague of Sophie. And he was really interested in natural wine, and he said like, I really like Italian heavy stuff and Amarone and Barolo, and he really knows what he's drinking. He's really drinking good shit. And then I just gave him natural wine. He was like, man, this is not my taste, but I kind of understand what you mean. And then the evening went on and on and on, and one bottle went, and the second bottle went, the third. And at the end we drank like 5 bottles of natural wine. And I felt awesome and fine on the next day, and also felt fine in the evening. And we were 5 people. And
Okay, like cereal.
okay, shall we do an intro while we're doing this? No, but we were sitting, and again natural wine struck. It struck again. 5 bottles, and it was like boom, done. And then I looked at the table, and it was like, similar like this, like 5 empty bottles. And then again I thought like, this is why I drink natural wine again, and this is why I don't drink conventional wine that much anymore, even though it's good.
I'm
But it was just like,
working now.
wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
We drank, no problem. We drank 4 bottles of natural wine. Then I ran out of wine. I had a Grüner from Lidl, $3.99.
Did it have the cap? Did it have the kwaliteits?
Yeah, it did. Big shout out to Stiftskloster Neuburg, Grüner Lidl, $3.99.
Fuck.
And then we drank a bottle of champagne, and the champagne was stuck. It was really stuck. It was like
Sulfites, man.
and it's probably not only sulfites, but it's just the most priced or the highest price.
Yeah.
Why would you drink a €3.99 Grüne Veltliner from
You
the
kind of-
fucking
you
Lidl?
You're kind of stealing my mind here.
I'm gonna pirate it in the
Especially
next
after
So
a
you have
year,
two
I don't
friends-
feel
you
it.
have two
Drinking
friends that can
natural
bring you-
wine.
You have 2 friends that can bring you the sickest shit every day, every morning, every hour. We will drop by your house for natural wine at
But
4 o'clock in the morning.
he is
Don't
in
touch me,
Oost.
don't.
He's in Oost. You are in Oost.
You can touch me.
And the Lidl is around my corner, and it's all
in
about regionality. You have to support your local business. So that's why I support the Lidl around my corner.
Ah, wonderful. Good idea.
I should become a politician.
Yeah, I think so too.
Guys, to explain the wine of
No, but maybe you give your fucking good.
love it. Because do you know why? It's serious. It's super juicy
But
and
it's
easy.
not, yeah.
But it's not.
But you know, this is my thing with this wine. It's like the perfect balance for me between fruity, juicy, like glue wine, and some serious fucking winemaking going on as well. And
Yeah.
the structure, the balance of this wine is just for me. I think we did the bottle in like 5 minutes.
In the beginning, I thought it was going to be a little bit wild. It is a little in the nose, but actually there's a shitload going on on the palate, and
No sticky acidity.
especially for the
or-
price, super impressed.
Nice, huh?
No, this is good shit.
So get your bargain NEROU.
If you are if you're this is what I'm always interested in, is if you are, if it's Friday night and you're drinking wine, what are you drinking right now? No, what do you like in
I'll
complete
tell you
wine
what
style
I
or
drank
something?
yesterday.
But I asked him. Shut the fuck up.
It really depends on what I'm eating. Sounds cheesy, but
Really?
yeah.
And this is an
I'm
interesting
a big fan
conversation.
of wine food
Does it-
pairing.
But
and
does it differ from sometimes I drink something where I don't give a fuck about biological, and then I drink supernatural because you like this as well. This is supernatural, but you are actually also kind of conservative, like similar like me. Like Arjan goes completely bananas on natural wine.
Yeah.
I drink what's good. Good
Yeah,
stuff is good stuff.
Lidl.
It's really good. It's really good, and it's quality wine. This is the only thing I'm drinking.
Yeah.
What do you drink?
it really depends. I know it sounds corny, but it really depends on my mood and what I'm eating. This I can have all day long. Good stuff, not too complicated, a lot of juice still, a lot of exciting things going on, but for me it really depends on what I'm eating, and then I call up my girlfriend and just say what's on the menu, and I'm done late, so she is done early, and I have to finish up the shop. So she cooks, I bring the wine.
Good deal.
I have to do the dishwashes a little bit more, I know, but yeah.
Okay.
And that's also
But kinda funny,
keeps it
Let me
exciting
ask the
for
question
the both of
differently.
us.
But sometimes
So what do I drink? It really depends. So usually I'm in the shop, so then I bring something from the shop. I don't go to the Wijnimport or to other wine importing companies. So usually it's organic or biodynamic made. sometimes it's natural. I'm more of a clean natural wine fan. Usually I explain it like this. There's clean, usually you don't realize you're drinking natural wine, just really well made. Usually they will add just a pinch of sulfur. Then there's playful, you'll probably realize you're drinking natural but super well made. In the middle there's funky. I would call this funky because it does have some bread, the wild yeast that for red wine can create some horse stable or some horse shit. Cool. And then there's hardcore and extreme.
What's this?
I would say this is funky.
Funky clean.
Not just funky.
Funky? Yeah.
Funky, but you can have funky in the nose, but still a pure wine.
Yeah.
So when there's just a pinch of bread in the wine, I would already call it between playful and funky. So when the first smell I had of the wine, I thought like, okay, this is going to be maybe a little bit wild. I know your style, and don't get me wrong, there are some hardcore, extreme, or heavy funky wines that I think the number one food wine pairing was at Restaurant Choux a year and a half ago when I was there with my brother. There was a pumpkin dish. I think it was this third or fourth course. The guy explained it, and my ears they are not the best. So I was sitting on the wall side, and this guy explained it. And it's like, yeah, there's a pumpkin, 28 days on 40 degrees sous vide with bloody bloody blah. And I looked at my brother. I was like, did he just say 28 days? He's like, yeah, but is that possible? I was like, I don't know. And then Figo walked by. I said, Figo, sorry, pumpkin 28 days sous vide.
Hours.
I think it was days. So that's why I was like,
Cool.
What
Now,
the fuck?
let me tell you-
How is this possible?
Let me tell you one thing.
Shut the fuck up. And then there was a wine, Pheasant
Now
Tears,
you know how it feels.
Pheasant Tears, Kisi,
Yeah.
and the guy said, we have to finish it before, within 4 hours,
That
otherwise it
smoke-
will get
that
mousy.
Smokiness, man.
Honestly, I wanted to
Yeah.
jump on the couch, and that is, for me, the best wine food pairing I ever had.
But that
It was
smokiness
insane.
with pumpkin, that acidity,
I'm getting
that
goosebumps
bitter,
already. Insane. And it's so usually I prefer to drink between clean and funky natural wine, but it can be extreme. As long as it's good,
Yeah.
or sometimes with wine food pairings you can have amazing combinations.
Sometimes I envy you how you drink wine, because you really can really also still really enjoy classical wine, and for me it's really gone hard to really drink stuff that's maybe a bit too sulfited or whatever. And I think it's really cool that you have an super open spectrum, and at least that's how I judge you.
When the three of us used to work together,
See you, sorry.
I think when we worked together at Partisan, it was a nice combination of just the wine, just getting the wine menu. The three of us, everybody has their own input. And in the beginning, I was trying to explain Pascal about geile dikke hoerenwijn, and Pascal said, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, do you know it? What's it called? Yeah, geile dikke hoerenwijn." Like a really
Don't
fat
put
oaky
water
Chardonnay.
in the wine glass.
Residue in my fucking glass.
I told you so many
down
times
it, down
already.
it,
Ja,
down.
echt. Wat
Guy,
doe
he's
je?
so fucking annoyed with me all the time.
But coming,
This is
Every week without
super
doing
professionalism, and then it goes to completely
There is
shit.
fucking residue in my glass. You know, be professional. If
drinking.
someone would have prepared 3 fucking wine glasses instead of one. What's this shit? I'm not coming back here anymore. What the fuck, man?
bunch of
Where's the
amateurs.
last to
Where's my
say?
agent? Where's my agent?
And it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. No.
Oh yeah. But coming back
Rewind.
coming back to geile dikke hoerenwijn.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a really fat, oaky, guilty pleasure, super heavy. Sometimes it has nothing to do with
Come here, my man.
organic, biodynamic, or natural wine.
Fuck. I got a cookie. Yeah, sorry.
No, but it's funny that Pascal completely, instantly told, like, what do you mean, geile dikke hoerenwijn? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just a really fat, Porno Chardonnay. He's like, yeah, I know it, man. Vette dikke hoerenwijn.
Hey, ballen. So
But honestly, I like I said just now, my appreciation for your wine style is really there. I think I think you're a super open guy. You know your shit, and you were open to my fucking crazy ideas and my crazy wine. And at that point, we're talking now 2-3 years ago. Also, my natural wine knowledge, it's still shit, but then it was really kind of not really there either. And you were open to it, but you also know a lot about your Barolo, Bordeaux, Bourgogne, and all that stuff, and you still really enjoy it. And man,
Ish.
yeah, but it's good.
It's always ish.
Yeah, but
It's gonna start laughing straight away.
you have a good.
But look, as long as the wine is good, I enjoy it. I'm not a purist, so I don't have to drink natural wine. That's sometimes for me. I get a lot of customers in the shop, and they've been to a funky natural wine bar. Well, there are, let's say, 2 in Amsterdam, and I explain we have organic or biodynamic wines, also some natural wine. Maybe 50% of the portfolio is natural, and then more in the clean, beautiful, funky spectrum. No hardcore extreme stuff. And when I already say natural wine, a lot of people, they go like, oh yeah, I don't like it. And then I explain, or I ask why, and they say, yeah, I've been to a wine bar and it's just not for me. And I just say, you cannot say you don't like natural wine. We have some, not only we, but there is some insane.
I don't like fish.
Yeah, or I don't like meat.
Or
what
bread.
kind of meat don't you like?
Yeah.
What kind of fish? What kind of? I don't like food. Like, okay, what kind of food don't you like?
I don't like solid food.
How do we
That
get
was funny.
That was funny.
No?
Yeah. It's just between
That
us.
was
This
funny.
one. Yeah, let's keep it.
Yeah.
How do we the big problem I have always with wine is that everyone likes to talk about it. Only a small percentage really knows what the fuck they're talking
We don't
about.
even know what the fuck we're talking about.
But
Yeah.
I have this really a lot of times
That's
that the
best thing
people
about it.
that
Yeah,
the people are saying that the people are saying, yeah, I don't like natural wine. Okay, why not? Yeah, because I just don't like orange wine. Well, okay, and then I don't say like, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, but it's more like, okay, why is that? Why is that the people are thinking
they're
like, when I drink
introduced the
natural
wrong
wine,
way.
that it always goes into one direction. This is like skin maceration, orange, and blah blah blah. And we have this conversation all the time.
Also, they're
I don't know what it is. No, but why? Answer the question. Why is it that
Because
the people
their
put it
general wine knowledge is already so limited to shit they. It's like only drinking Pilsner when you no drinking craft beer, and then somebody gives you the most fucking hoppy IPA you ever had, and says, "Yeah, this is craft beer." Yeah, you'll be like, "Yeah, you only know Amstel and Heineken. You don't even know all the fucking Pilsners yet." These people don't even. Most of these people haven't even ever in their life drunken a Barolo. Let's say like classical stuff or really good Chablis, and then they get introduced to something that's so far out of their thing, and I think they get introduced the wrong way. Like I'm doing a lot of introduction packages now, so there's guys calling me, "Hey man, I see you're doing a wine thing, and hey, can you drop me a box?" And I'm like, okay, maybe you can give them this, but they're not gonna understand straight away. So I send the box, Plein Sud, Viognier, Caudron. Henk has a Muscadet, which is not really natural, but it's kind of there. And then there's some other stuff, and I always insert like one bottle of something like this or a Nicolas Renault, and then try to see where they go and really explain them. And when they roll in it like this, the first comments I got from a friend of mine, he said, "Jesus, that is a Chianti from Montana. It's also not exactly natural, but it's really well made." It's kind of the stuff you're doing. Yeah. Welcome to the world. Every bottle will go like this, and you need to introduce people like this. And if they go to Glue Glue because it's hip and they see it on Instagram, and there's 20 wines in a fucking ice bucket, and God may know how long they have not been tasted and have been in the ice bucket sometimes, and they get a glass of something that is already a vulnerable wine that's been open for a day and been gone from ice bucket to fridge to ice bucket, You know what's going to happen.
You're gonna have a hard time.
When it's super
Yeah.
mousy after a couple of
But
seconds.
they don't know what
really-
mouse is. They don't know what
No,
mouse is.
but then you maybe smell it. It probably already has some bread, and then after 5 seconds, like a dead mouse in the back of your throat will.
Man, I'm eating a cookie here.
But that's just nice, and then your mind about natural wine is like, okay, I don't like it, but it's not about natural wine necessarily, but also with a limited knowledge about wine, you also try to create a database about, okay, what do I like, what's my tasting profile, and what maybe I can play around a little bit, because a lot of people, they know they like Sauvignon Blanc and they don't like Chardonnay, or they do like a Pinot Grigio, they will probably like a Verdejo, and that's really basic, which is fine. But when you're all of a sudden trying really funky natural wine, really mousy after a couple of seconds, for a lot of people, they think, oh fuck, natural wine, that's not for me.
On a serious topic.
Pun intended.
On a serious topic, I was working in a wine shop, and in the wine shop the people came in, and then they were standing in front of a shelf, and I came to ask them how I can help them. Wait a second. How I can help them? And then I explained them like, okay, what are you what are you what are you looking for? Da, da, da. Yeah, look for this and this. Yeah, what about this Sauvignon Blanc? And then they said, yeah, I don't like Sauvignon Blanc. I was like, okay, no problem. Why don't you like Sauvignon Blanc? And then they said, yeah, I don't know. It has a really weird taste. And there is number one rule of every wine client who is not into the wine business, but it just wants to buy good wine, always says like, number one rule for me is, I like it or I don't like it. And that's why I have to say, it's wrong. You need to know why you like something and why you don't like something.
It's our job.
No, but you have to learn, okay, why don't I like this wine? And then you're like, okay, I don't like this, and this, and then maybe this. And then you're like, okay, so you don't like acidity. So hands off of wines from Styria, wines from da-da-da. You have to go more there. But it's not like, I don't like Sauvignon Blanc. No. Don't give me this bullshit. You know what I mean?
But it's funny, I've been talking, you're working in the shop. I'm talking to Vigo, who started the shop, and I am doing some shop work now. I'm talking to Theo, who's doing Troppa Giovane. Really nice shop in Jordan. And I think all of us are really noticing how much really cheap crap you're selling the most. People are really, they're really coming in for an experience and a thing, but not a lot of people really actually buying really good wine. I think at Vigo they're buying a lot of good stuff, but also he said, yeah, there's stuff I'm selling. I would not even let a sommelier taste it, but I'm selling the shit out of it now to people, and people really like it. So that's a really good lesson. Also, I feel always like Plein Sud, the Viognier from Estes Arges. It's the classic one. Every time I do a conversion from for a restaurant to natural wine, it's the ideal wine, because it's kind of accepted that it's because Jean-François Nique used to be the winemaker there, who's got Foulard Rouge. So that really set up their game for a corporation in France, which don't really usually have the best of reputations. They really are nailing it. And that Viognier, which is still under €7, which is a super ripe, engaging bottle. I tasted it last week. I was actually surprised by the acidity and the bitterness, because it's got 14.5 ABV. Yeah. But I was thinking, I'm not. And Henk said the same. He said, I hadn't tasted this in a shit long time. But places like Binnenvisser, where they do super good natural wine, but they're not flaunting it. So for them, they're not like, yeah, but they're not pouring crazy shit by the glass. People don't like it, so their glass work is pretty on the safe side, and they don't give a fuck. If people like it, that's their whole perspective is, we're just doing stuff and we hope everybody likes it. So they sell a lot of Plein Sud, and we used to sell a lot of Plein Sud, and for me that's a kind of wine. Also today, every person that wants white and they say something like, yeah, I really like oaky Chardonnay, or I really like a full body white wine. You know, this thing is never gonna really disappoint. and it's not.
And it
it's
pays
not.
it pays your bills at the
I
end.
think that and it was really like a lesson. We were talking about Nature de Roubier. It's the same, you know. Actually, I sold a lot of it in Moer. It's a good wine. It's not the kind of stuff you really want to put on your resume, but
No, but it's a wine that sells, and yeah.
Should we talk about the wine first?
Yeah,
To have a little bit of a thing.
that's what I'm saying. I wanted to go to the wine.
Cool. What is it?
What are we drinking?
It's your bottle, motherfucker.
It's
NEROCAPITANO.
Frappato. Frappato I only know from Ariano Kipinti. Big shout out to Moritz from Wijnskandal. He introduced me to it. Frappato I only know from Ariano Kipinti. And she had a red, a white, and some special thingies, and one of them was Frappato. And then you said at Water Woodbury, hey, you have to take this as Frappato. And I was like, I know I'm gonna love it, and I loved it. And that's why I told you today, bring me one bottle.
So
Introduce it.
But this
your bottle more to the right.
Yeah.
We met Andrea Alcobinti. They've seen it.
this was it.
where's your
Ladiv.
head? Ladiv, 2 years ago, Jesus Christ. February 2 years ago. With Yuri. Why so early? When we made Yuri sleep on the floor. And he woke up and I met the gif of him getting up. And then he got up like, and he's sitting there, why so early?
And it was like 7:30.
Yeah.
So not really late.
No,
You
super.
didn't join on the day, right? On the
But you know, the first day that we went to we went to
And now the podcast goes on.
we got fucked up, and then he went to we went to, what was it? Les Pénitentes.
Yeah, not the Cossard.
No, Les Pénitentes. Yeah, in the old thing, it was much
Big
better
one.
location. Honestly, no, the small one in the
Cossard.
old.
Where Cossard was there as well.
Cossard was there,
You go in,
and,
up, and
yeah, you have the 2 floors, but
And the guy
Yuri
without
was
teeth,
sitting on a
the
chair
the
first.
guy without teeth from Spain was at the end of the second floor.
it's without teeth.
Yeah,
A Skoda.
it was really, I think, yeah, a Skoda.
He's got teeth, but they're black.
Yeah.
You know, he set himself
He
on.
looked like
you know
he's
that he
eating
set himself
cigarette.
on fire when he was doing his roof. I got a picture of the guy with his whole face and his arms in bandages. But I always mix up the two guys, so I'm on the Skoda and the other one. Rudy was sitting on a chair first, and then he went to the car and he was laying in the back of the car. And he was working at Chabrol at the time. And I remember Rex come up to the car in his purple training suit and like slapping on the window. He was like fucking dying.
Blubbery.
How's your hangover going?
That's gone. How much is the alcohol? I can see 12. Fuck, that's good. La Moresca, man.
But do you know anything about the wine? Do you know Frappato?
no.
Okay. I only know it from Ariana.
I know La Moresca, I know the Rosato they do, it's really good. You know, Figo has been doing it for quite a while. I don't know for sure. Let's make a little cut. I think it's the guy, the Italian dude that lived in Belgium, where, what's the, Cornelissen.
Ah, Frank Cornelis.
He knows Cornelissen, but it could also be Il Ceo, but I think it's La Moresca. I'm pretty sure it's La Moresca. I think it's a guy who lived and had a restaurant, an Italian restaurant in Italy, in Belgium. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that guy. Yeah. So it's this dude. Really nice guy. And he used to live, he speaks Dutch. He's fluent pretty much. And he used to live in Belgium, I think in Leuven or something. And I think Cornelis is from there. So he would go to his restaurant to eat. And then a couple of years ago, he went back. He makes super good olive oil. And the wines, the Rosato and this, man, they are just fucking insanely good.
Cool.
But I didn't expect this to be this juicy. But
Did you drink it before?
No, because
He sold it to me. He was like, "This is really good. You have to buy it."
I know the Rosato.
I know another cuvée, and I ordered for Figo. We were making the wine list for Walters. And I said, okay, shall I do this from La Moresca, which we worked with, which was more of a serious wine. And he said, no, you better take the NEROCAPITANO. It's more easy, it's less natural. And I was like, okay, if you say so. And then, because I was doing the pop-up shop at Walters, I wanted to work at least for Vigo's wines with the wines they're going to sell on the wine list. So I got the NEROCAPITANO, and I thought, okay, it's Frappato. It's kind of like a not super heavy grape, but it's Sicily. But I'm just marveled kind of with this.
What's the price?
I can check. I think,
22.
yeah. So I think no, that was in Walters. So I think we're gonna probably better say consumer prices here. Will be anything between 16 and 19, I think, normally. And Horeca, we could sell it in a restaurant under 45 euros.
And the previous wine,
Cheaper.
12.
that is for me so much more vibrant, more acidity. Yeah, I would say this is clean. For a lot of people, they probably don't realize they're drinking natural wine.
Yeah. It's short, a bit maybe.
Yeah, but it. I don't want to bash it. I like it. I can also sell it in the shop, but for a lot of people to get familiar with natural wine, and that can also be nice and clean. And if you don't know it's natural, this is the perfect example to fool someone.
Entry drug.
Or at a restaurant or at a wine shop, because at Spijkervet, where I used to work, a restaurant, I would go with 3 bottles behind my back or play around with someone saying they don't like natural wine, or they don't like Sauvignon Blanc, or they don't like Chardonnay, and depending on the food pairing, I would come up with at least one of the 3, just playing around, just a little. But then they would choose this wine, and I'd say, okay, but it's also a natural wine. Really? Yeah. Just to get their perspective, just to open it up. This is good stuff, but especially the previous wine, I really fucking enjoyed it. Vibrant, nice acidity.
I have one thing, like I like all of them, but also what I have right now with the Frappato, and that has nothing to do with that we already drink the 3rd bottle. It's more like this is closing me up. It's closing me. I love it, but it's really after 2 glasses I'm like,
But if
I look for pepper and
If you go to the palate, like, okay, acidity 7 out of 10 or something for a wine like this. I'm kind of making a benchmark kind of thing. Fruit, at least 8 out of 10. Easy. Drinkability, 7 out of 10. So it kind of scores pretty good with. There's some structure. There's not really tannin, but there's kind of a tanginess to it.
It is good wine. It's technically correct. Everything makes sense, but when you compare it, like in a lineup like this, and if we would drink it on its own, probably we would go like, yeah, man, good stuff, nice, really clean, really good. But when you're having a lineup with a fucking Grunewaldliner, the 2nd wine and the 3rd wine, then it's 3 completely different styles and wines and grapes. But for the 2nd wine, for me, I don't know if that's too early to say who's the winner. That's the fucking winner.
the 2nd one.
Yeah, good stuff. Price, quality, kabam.
So,
shall we wrap it up?
Clean, comfort wine, all good. If you want to get someone to...
What are we talking about? This wine?
No, last one.
This one.
Yeah.
We're gonna do all wines now? Just
We wrap up
wines.
every wine now.
Oh,
Boom.
Jesus Christ.
Let's do this one first. Frappato.
Okay, Frappato. So, Frappato for me, comfort wine, all good. It's technically correct. I would enjoy it. Let me put it this way. If Sadie, my girlfriend, if she likes it, then I know everybody will like it, because she's not into natural wine as I am or as we are. So she would like this, and it's also something for mom and dad or a critic about natural wine to say, hey, fucker, this is also natural. And just to have a blind tasting, and someone will really enjoy it.
Arnold?
For me, sitting in the sun with a fucking big ass barbecue going on, just before I go for that serious bottle. Yeah. But I want to have something substantial because I'm cutting off pieces of meat all the fucking time. This wine will suit me just perfect. Really good summer red wine.
Great.
Like Wouter said, maybe, not like number 2, but who gives a shit. Okay, Francis Ford Coppola.
Amazing. I think
This is fucking... I start?
We're all
Fucking
hidden
great.
behind bottles, by the way. I can see absolutely no one. Because there's a bottle in front of every person.
But you
Feldwiener.
this one is the winner of the day.
For
Super
sure.
peppery, super fresh.
You decide.
Drinking. I only say what I'm thinking. You can have a different winner of the day. I love it. I like it. It's super peppery. It's super fresh, mineralic. I want to drink a shitload of glasses of this. I really, really, really love it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to whoever the winemaker is.
John op het wie.
Good stuff. It's always fun, especially in a lineup like this. I really enjoyed it. I think this is the winner, and also, especially with the last red wine we drank, really clean, really okay, but to have something vibrant as this wine with a way lower price range, good stuff. Kablam!
What am I saying about
Kalkensiezer.
Out.
Klaus Preisinger Erde Luftgras und Reden 2015? Henri?
Nice, but lacks a little of acidity for me. Especially with a Grünen Veltliner, I would expect it to be a little bit longer, or especially in a finish, to have it a little bit more acidity. But for the rest, an aged Grüner on Amphora from Preisinger, good stuff, don't get me wrong. I like the second bottle better, but it's comparing apples and pears. No, I'm a bigger fan of his Kalkensiezer, which is in a lower price range. I think price quality wise it's a bit more, it makes sense for a lot of people. And from Preisinger, especially Pusta Libre or the Zweigelt.
We only talk about this one.
Sorry.
Making commercial.
Yeah. No, but that's I know Preisinger wine, so I'm trying to put, because this is not an expensive, this is not a cheap wine. So it is probably the most expensive wine we tried today. Yeah. And therefore I'm always comparing price quality, and it's the same with Burgundy wines. If you go above 30 euros, is it still worth it? Usually you just have to let it go. This is a single vineyard monocepage, so 100% Grüne Veltliner from a vintage, and yeah, I'm enjoying what?
I only need a review, man.
What's the review?
No, but I enjoy a Kalkensiezer, which is almost half of the price. I enjoy it better than this. Probably a lot of people will enjoy it better as well. But it's quality wine. Don't get me wrong.
That's fucking amazing.
And anything you wanna still shout out or wanna lose, like any topic you wanna talk about? We have all the time we need. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up and stop recording.
Thank the director.
No.
Perfect. That was it. Good night. Good fight.
Houdoe en tot ziens.
Yeah, it's Bazanji. 919. Check it, I said this industry is dog eat dog, and y'all sleeping. All these Mickey D's rappers around me that I've been eating, cause I got my city on the come up and they got my back. They've been loving the kid, knowing the words, feeling the flow when they going absurd, I kill it. The realest from Chapel Hill in a minute with no limit. You a witness to the game, but I'm only thinking winning, living in a world we battle to the top. Either make it or you drop, no, the game will never stop, no. So what's the point of dreaming if you ain't achieving? Cause the time ain't on my side, I've been changing like the seasons. I know I gotta make it, gotta get it, live it better. Y'all stay still, I'm time lapsed in the stellars like that. And this life ain't easy, I'm feeling greedy.